Thank you. You may be seated. It's Christmas Eve 2025, and what better place to spend it than in Treasure Beach? Isn't it a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen? It is beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the official launch of JPS's Emergency Mobile Power Generation Unit. Now that's a mouthful, so we'll just call it the official launch of our Empower. Now there's a story here, and that story will be told later on. But at the end of the day, today represents a celebration of innovation, a celebration of progress. I think almost all of us were here or near here in Jamaica on October 28th. The day was very different from today. We're looking out now and we're seeing skies with barely any cloud cover. On the 28th of October 2025, Jamaica experienced the most devastating hurricane, a Category 5, one that has never been experienced in this country and not in the region in recent recorded history. Hurricane Melissa destroyed lives. It took lives. It destroyed homes. It destroyed businesses. But today, we are here to celebrate the resilience not only of the people of St. Elizabeth, but of the people of Jamaica. We're here to celebrate. And as we focus on St. Elizabeth, the parish, one of the parishes that had the greatest impact, we celebrate the resilience of the people of St. Elizabeth. We celebrate the resilience of the businesses of St. Elizabeth. I'd like to welcome a representative of St. Elizabeth, a representative of the people of St. Elizabeth, of the businesses of St. Elizabeth, Mr. Jason Hensel, who is our official host today. Please make him welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Minister Vaz, Minister Green, Mr. Grant, Ms. McCallum, the entire leadership of JPS who is here with us this morning, the JCF, and most importantly, community stakeholders. I see Mr. George Hill, Justice of the Peace, in the back there beside Rebecca. I want to say a huge thank you on behalf of the stakeholders and the residents of Treasure Beach. We are the model for community tourism in the Caribbean. It's something that we have worked hard to earn that reputation. We do not take anything for granted. We know that there is great need across our country at this time. There are many people hurting. There are many people who don't have a roof over their head or anything in their stomachs, much less to have light when they turn on a switch, right? So we understand the sacrifice that this power plant that was set up in Treasure Beach, we understand the sacrifice that was made. We understand the advocacy that was put forward. And I want to say that we are proud to say today that we have used the opportunity well, because people are back at work. People have repaired their businesses, and people are back at work. And yes, we would have had some cancellations, but for the most part, when people arrive at Jake's, and in Treasure Beach, and we ask them, what is the one word that you would share with me at this time, having arrived in Montego Bay and driven through 3 to 4 hours in some places, seeing serious devastation? What would your one word be? And all of them have said to me, hope. Hope. So if a foreigner can come here from their comfortable home knowing that we were hit by a hurricane, a Category 5 hurricane, as you said, Ms. McCallum, the most dangerous in our history, and get on a plane knowing that, the comfort of their homes, and to drive and to see that devastation, and to arrive in Treasure Beach and to know that they have light and they have the conveniences, and for them to say they feel hope, right? It gives us hope, and that is the hope that we must build on, right? I want to tell you, Mr. Grant, that your team have been exceptional. Not good, not great, but exceptional. Okay? They have, yes, please give them a round of applause. Mr. Samir here, he sleeps in his car in the parking lot. And yes, we have had some issues, right? We know that this is a first of its kind. So yes, we have had some issues. On the very night of our opening on Saturday night, we would have had a bit of a wobble, let us call it. But you know, we live in the real world and things go sideways sometimes. And you know who has your back when things go wrong. Minister Vaz, I want to thank you for your advocacy. Again, your unbelievable leadership as the Minister of Energy during this particular time. We saw you showing up for us after Beryl, and we saw you showing up for us right here after Melissa. Okay? I would love us to give a round of applause to Minister Vaz. This man works tirelessly. And of course, our own MP and Minister Green. I can't explain to you how much gratitude goes out to Minister Green. Just yesterday, we were over at the sports park with NCB Foundation, giving out farming vouchers and rolls of wire to fishermen. I'm proud to say that apart from the business side, our foundation breads, we have distributed over $41 million into the community since the passing of Melissa. This has been grants to, thank you. This has been grants to 300 community tourism stakeholders, employees. This has been grants to 18 small businesses and attractions. This has been also housing material, right? And we have a very aggressive target, right? I don't want to say what it is right now, but there are 1,074 farmers just in the Pedro Plains alone. And we know this is the breadbasket, right? So we're putting 16 million of that 41 million into farming vouchers, and we're about a third of where we want to be with farmers, right? So this is a proud day, and I really want to thank you for believing in Treasure Beach and for supporting Treasure Beach. I really want to say thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, and thank you again for your warm welcome and the fact that you are hosting JPS here, not just for this event, but for this special project. As we proceed, I'd like to issue a special welcome to every single person here. It's the day before Christmas, and I know a lot's going on. But I want to especially acknowledge the presence of our Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth South Western, the Honourable Floyd Green. A very, very special welcome to our own Minister, the Honourable Darrell Vaz. And Director General of the OUR, Ansford Hewitt, thank you so much for joining us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we know that there's been a lot of advocacy for businesses to be restarted, for innovative initiatives. And one of those advocates is Member of Parliament, who is also the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. I now invite him, the Honourable Floyd Green, to officially welcome us to the parish of St. Elizabeth.
Thank you very much, Lady McCallum. Minister Darrell Vaz, a man who needs no welcome to the parish of St. Elizabeth. In fact, his best decision in life was ensuring that he wed a woman from St. Elizabeth. And that is why he does so well in all his endeavors. Sorry, Mr. Grant, it's not too late maybe. President Grant and the JPS team, Jason Hensel and the Breads family, or OUR family, members of the Treasure Beach community, or JCF. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is a good day. In fact, I wanted to start by saying God is good, and all the time, God is good. Welcome to the best place on earth. Everybody knows that if you were to really search for the best place to spend any time, Treasure Beach would be very high on that list. In fact, I would say Treasure Beach would be number one on that list. We are a piece of heaven. Unfortunately, for the last 2 years, we have been through very difficult time. Hurricane Beryl caused tremendous damage to this area and really tested our faith and tested our resilience. And when we were on the cusp of really feeling like we had built back and we were recovering stronger, here comes Hurricane Melissa, which did even more damage, not just to Treasure Beach and our entire south coast, but to the entire western region. And as such, you can imagine a number of us were extremely worried about how long will it take us to get back to where we're coming from. How long will it take for normalcy to be restored to some of these areas? How long will the most resilient people in the world be able to get back up and keep moving? A critical part of that recovery is the provision of electricity. And again, sometimes people love to give JPS a bad rap. But when you want to see how important JPS is, just don't have electricity for a little while. And you recognize that it is critical to have this commodity. And as such, we were concerned as to how long it would take. When we looked around and we saw the tremendous destruction to Magotty and our distribution network, we were concerned that we would go through a Christmas with the vast majority of our areas, especially our key business areas, not having electricity. And when that happens, the sort of frustration and suffering that regular people go through is tremendous. So I really want to commend the team from the JPS for ensuring that they looked for solutions, not just looked at the problem. That they sat down and decided to look at innovative ways that we could treat with parts of the parish that don't suffer damage could move again, and that they prioritize bringing back businesses so that people could again have employment so that they could move their families forward. Remember, the hallmark of St. Elizabeth people is how hard we work and how proud we are. We just need the opportunity. So once our businesses are back up and running, we will work our way to get back things like our households. And that is what this means for us today. Today is a day about innovation, it's about resilience, and it's about hope. So I want to thank President Grant. I had a wonderful meeting with them where they outlined the solution and also the plans moving forward. And I know that there are a number of communities right outside of Treasure Beach, and I hope that this gives them hope that JPS is willing to look at solutions and not sit idly by, that they're working very hard to restore electricity in the quickest possible time. Now, we all know this would not have been possible without a minister like Minister Vaz, who doesn't take no for an answer, who says, get it done some way, somehow. And because of his stridency, we are seeing recovery in times that far surpass Hurricane Beryl. And I think Minister Vaz and JPS should have a big round of applause for that. What this means and what this has meant is that the businesses in this area are back up and running. I think we're about at 60% in terms of our guest houses, our villas. People are back at work. And it also means the farmers and the fishers have an avenue to farm again, to fish again, to sell their produce and products again. And you might not understand how important electricity is, especially to our fisheries sector, which again, if you don't have electricity, the cost of trying to run your own generator to store your fish when you go to sea is just not affordable. So all of these areas, Great Bay, Billy's Bay, Calabash Bay, all the way down to Fort Charles, these are fishing communities. And I want to say on behalf of our fishers, thank you, JPS, for finding this solution. Now, as Member of Parliament, you've done well, but well is never enough. That's the job and the sort of work that I do. So I'm looking forward. We have electricity now in Treasure Beach and the surrounding communities. Again, I think about 700 households before Christmas. My hope is that the Black River District will get that before New Year's. So I'm putting that out there. I see Principal Ellington nodding in approval. So that is my hope. And then, as Minister Vaz has said, that we will really move to cover 90% of now be parochial of my constituency, at least by the end of January. I know there are some areas that are very, very challenging, but I have seen a difference. And I'll tell Minister Vaz and President Hugh, we have seen a tremendous acceleration of poles, lines over the last week and a half. I must tell you, let me just say, it appears money well spent, because the linesmen are on the ground and they are moving. I went to Black River on Sunday, I was black yesterday, and the difference in a day is amazing. We've never seen, I remember, I'm now an expert at disaster response. We've never seen the pace of restoration after Hurricane Beryl. The pace that we're seeing now is like nothing we've seen before. And, and what I will say to you, Minister Vaz, you have my support to keep this pace going. Because for our people, trust me, our houses have been damaged, our businesses have been damaged, our livelihoods have been upended. But give us back electricity and we will find a way to help ourselves. God bless you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Minister Green. Thank you so much. Now, this process of rebuilding and restoration after Hurricane Melissa is all about partnership. As you can see, it's not just about JPS. It's not just about any one entity. We're all in this together, pressing towards the same goal, the same objective. And the key partner in this process is the Office of Utilities Regulation. Now, we depend on the OUR to come alongside us to make things happen. Representing the OUR today is the Director General himself, Mr. Ansford Hewitt, who we will now invite to join us. Mr. Hewitt, please. And please, as he comes up, let me just say, in the interest of safety, my boss, I know, will call me out. There is an official set of stairs over here that I'd like everybody else to use as you come up. So please welcome Mr. Ansford Hewitt, Director General of the OUR.
Thank you. Thanks, Winsome. Member of Parliament Floyd Green, Minister of Energy, Honorable Darrell Vaz, President and CEO of JPS, Mr. Hugh Grant, Chairman of Jake's Hotel, Jason Hensel, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. It is Christmas Eve, but I thought it very important to be present here today to mark and celebrate an event which illustrates for the OUR a number of critical virtues, namely the need to be innovative in the face of a disaster, the importance of collaboration among important stakeholders, and the recognition that whatever our differences may be in terms of mandate and focus, ultimately what must unite us is a recognition that we serve a common constituency and that the public interest is preeminent. The OUR has often been found at odds with JPS, and I'm sure Minister Vaz would agree that on a few occasions, even with the political directorate. Indeed, it is also not unknown for the public to express skepticism and I dare say disaffection with some of our decisions. That said, I believe we are at one in the belief that fundamentally the electricity sector must be organized and regulated to serve the public interest. So that is why when JPS came to the OUR with the proposal to put in place facilities to provide emergency access to electricity in key geographical areas, even while the grid is being rebuilt, we did not hesitate to offer support. Sure, we asked relevant questions about technical feasibility. We asked about cost, and I'm going to pause here to say that these initiatives are costly. But in the end, we do the cost-benefit analysis. We made the decision that it was far more economic for Jamaica, it is far more economic for Treasure Beach to have electricity and to have your economic activities restored than to continue to have an elongated restoration period. And by the way, I would offer my own commendation to the government for the initiative that was taken to expedite this process. It has the full and unequivocal support of the Office of Utilities Regulation. So once we received reasonable responses, we said to JPS, proceed with post haste. And I'm happy to see what has transpired today. So today we're happy to be presented with proof of concept by way of the commissioning of this emergency mobile power generation unit. I'm sure that the residents and businesses in Treasure Beach and its environs are elated that they do not have to wait for weeks and months to have electricity restored. We are also keenly aware of the fact that while we celebrate with you today, there are still thousands of Jamaicans who will have a dark Christmas. The OUR therefore takes the opportunity to urge JPS to continue to double down on its restoration activities and to seek to apply similar creative solutions where feasible and practicable to provide short-term relief. The OUR has underscored its commitment to the restoration effort in that we have sought to be flexible, we have sought to make decisions quickly, and we have sought to cooperate with all our stakeholders, the Minister, the JPS, the IPP, and of course, always before us is the Jamaican public, the consumers. I am pleased with this innovation because I believe it offers us an opportunity to explore options and choices for how the national grid can be configured to operate with greater levels of segmentation and resilience when we face events such as the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. The OUR therefore looks forward to examining the lessons learned from the application of this and other innovations and how they can be embedded in our manual of best practices. I offer my congratulations to JPS on the successful commissioning of the facility and extend on behalf of the OUR to all present best wishes for the Christmas season and the New Year. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so very much. That was Director General of the Office of Utilities Regulation, Mr. Ansford Hewitt. Our next speaker, his name has been called multiple times. He is Hugh Grant, the CEO of JPS. We call him our fearless leader. He's very demanding. We're barely standing because he pushes. But he inspires, he encourages, and he has a vision. He is a visionary leader. And it is because of his leadership that we are able today, as JPS, to celebrate the significant achievement that we have made in restoring power to the people of Jamaica. Please join me in welcoming President and CEO Hugh Grant.
Greetings, everyone. I tell you, I'm so proud of Winsome when she said, let us use the stairs so that we can be safe as we come on stage. Because safety is our North Star. Minister Vaz, Minister Green, Director General for the OUR, Ansford Hewitt, community and business leader, I call him Jason, other members of the community here in St. Elizabeth, other business leaders, and a special call out to folks from the JCF who are also here keeping us safe amidst all challenges. Welcome and thank you for being here. Christmas in Jamaica usually brings a sense of grounding. It's a joy for me to be back here in Treasure Beach when only a few weeks ago I was doing a walkthrough with Jason, him showing me the devastation, walking through with my teams in terms of the electricity grid and the supply here, and walking through with Minister Green to bring his perspective in terms of the impact on the communities. And I'm so proud that only a few weeks later, we are here with a solution deployed to power just under 1,000 homes in the Treasure Beach area. Regardless of the challenges, regardless of all that Melissa has presented to us, there is comfort in familiar rhythms. There is comfort in family gatherings. There is comfort in reassurance. And there is comfort that the light will be back or the light is back. Across the western parishes, many families continue to live with the effects of Hurricane Melissa. Daily lives are still not back to normal in many places. Yet even in the midst of that strain, Jamaica had stood still. Jamaica has remained resilient and remained calm on so many fronts. I was just having a conversation with Minister Vaz and members of the JCF earlier. And one story that we have to continue to tell is that in the midst of all this, the crime rate has been managed. There have been no tremendous havoc, and we continue to be safe, we continue to be civil, and we continue to restore a sense of normalcy to the people of Jamaica. This is Jamaican resilience in action, steady and unyielding. So where are we now in regards to our restoration? As Winsome mentioned, we were hit with a Category 5 hurricane that cut across our island on October 28th, that is. And it caused catastrophic damage. This was not a situation that allowed for quick fixes. Restoration required difficult decisions, balancing urgency with safety, speed with responsibility, and immediate relief with long-term strength of the system. Within the reality, I have some good news for you. On this day, day 57, since the passage of Hurricane Melissa, we have restored 88% of our customers. What that means is just under 90,000 of our customers now remain without power. And of our overall customer base of approximately 700,000 customers, that means that nearly over 600,000 customers now have power on the eve of Christmas. So I am always pushing and driving to be best in class and to bring JPS to best in class standards, and we have been doing that. So just to put it in perspective, in 2017, Category 4 hurricane impacted Puerto Rico. And at this stage, 57 days, they were less than 40% in terms of restoration. So we have doubled that number in terms of our restoration pace and strategy. There's something to be said about that. We can also reflect on other hurricanes, Rita, Wilma, 2005, affecting large areas of Texas, Louisiana, and Florida. And it took them weeks and months to restore. So as I've heard from many of the overseas line workers that we brought in to accelerate the restoration effort, one thing they shared with me is what's happening here in Jamaica is above industry norms, and that's due to the strong partnerships and the best-in-class practices that we have implemented. We have made clear commitments for the Christmas period, and restoration remains firmly on track with all our promises. I tell my team every day, me not in the business of missing commitments. We have to deliver on our commitments because the people of this great nation are depending on us. And I'm so proud to say that as I stand here today, every commitment that we have made, we have delivered on through the strong partnerships. The eastern parishes of St. Mary, Portland, Kingston, and St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and St. Catherine are now fully restored. In Clarendon, we have restored more than 95% of those customers already. In St. Anne, we had a target of achieving over 80% by Christmas. That has been achieved. In Manchester and Trelawney, we have also surpassed those targets of reaching that 95% mark. For St. James, restoration of the elegant corridor, surrounding communities, flankers, coral gardens, Iron Shore have been completed within the committed times. In Hanover, Lucy Town, Sandy Bay Health Clinic, Sandy Bay Town have also been restored prior to Christmas. One of the big things that we wanted to focus on is restoring areas of employment, the hotel sector, critical customers, to unlock the economic opportunities, and we have stuck with our restoration strategy, and we have delivered time and time and time again. A tremendous thanks to all our stakeholders and teams to make that happen. Now, crews continue to work in remote areas with limited access, often in unfamiliar terrain, where decisions in the fields have been focused around doing it safely. This technical work is carried out under lots of pressure, requiring discipline and much endurance. And I tell my team, I love the song from Juna Reid that says, to make a hit, you have to fit, you have to fit. We have to be fit, particularly in these times, because the nation is depending on us to deliver. The context that has not been lost on us is that we still have customers without power during this festive season. That is why we have brought in additional resources to help to expedite the restoration effort and make the necessary progress. The most accessible and interconnected parts of the network were rebuilt first, allowing electricity to reach the greatest numbers of customers as quickly as possible. The remaining 12% of our customers represent the most complex and resource-intensive phase of the restoration effort. Look at it this way. We have areas such as from Junction to Watchwell, whereby one work package with just 100 defects would give us back 7,500 customers. And now, on the other hand, I say Minister Green taught this lingo and him know the thing, you know. Areas of Pedro Cross to Fort Charles, we have repaired over 400 defects, but only restored 1,000 customers. So as you go into the last mile, it takes additional resources to maintain the pace of restoration because the damage is so severe. The terrain is more difficult. Communities are more dispersed, increasing the time and the resources required for restoration. The final phase of restoration is no longer only about scale. It's about detail. It's about stronger partnerships, and it's around strong communication and delivering on our commitments. What made Hurricane Melissa particularly destructive was not only strength, but its persistence. And Treasure Beach was not spared. Systems that sometimes are able to withstand a single impact under prolonged pressure, we were seeing widespread and overlapping damage. St. Elizabeth here experienced the full impact. I took a walk with Jason and toured just the facilities here. And let me tell you something. You're seeing whereby concrete bedhead lift up and are out on the front lawns of this place. Unbelievable. It just goes to show the level of devastation and the forces of a Category 5 hurricane. We recognize that restoration is not just about lines and poles. It goes beyond numbers. It means creativity, innovation, pulling out all the stops to power businesses and communities. And here in Treasure Beach is an example of what's required to do something creative and have strong partnerships with the community, with the regulator, with the business leaders, and also with government. Treasure Beach offered a unique opportunity whereby many of the distribution lines were up due to the prior work that we did during Beryl. However, there was significant damage to the transmission infrastructure that's required to bring the power in. We had strong engagement on many fronts. I actually met out here with Minister Green and other leaders in the community to look at what is it that we could do to come up with a creative solution given the significant economic importance of Treasure Beach, not only to this community, but to Jamaica at large. After the hurricane, it was clear rebuilding permanent infrastructure will take lots of time. So rather than asking the community to wait, we came up with a creative solution with a temporary generator here in Treasure Beach to power the Treasure Beach community and the surrounding areas. This solution is what has been powering this community in recent times, and today is the official launch of this effort. Fuel logistics, load management, system protection were carefully planned out to provide the necessary service. And the other thing I will say is heightened stakeholder engagement and partnerships. We met with the community leaders, we met with Minister Green and his team, we met with Jason and team, and we brought their perspective and their color in to inform us in terms of how we could do what we could do to deliver on something special here in Treasure Beach. And of course, partnered with the regulator to deliver something special here. This reflects a broader shift in how restoration is being approached, recognizing that in moments of crisis, innovation is not optional. It means business reopening, homes functioning, and people regaining stability while longer-term solutions continues. Within St. Elizabeth, Black River is a key area of focus. At its center stands the ruins of Waterloo Guest House, the first property in Jamaica to receive electricity and a symbol of the country's technological progress. What represented innovation now bears the scars of Hurricane Melissa. Nearby, newly erected JPS poles are amongst the few visible signs of recovery, quietly signaling that life is to normal is beginning to return through the partnerships. Just down the road in Black River, the hospital awaits power from the grid, underscoring what is truly at stake. There is strong symbolism here. The place where electricity first transformed life in Jamaica has now become a site of innovation as teams work extraordinarily to restore power under difficult conditions. So this is what is currently happening in St. Elizabeth. We are extending distribution lines from neighboring parishes where feasible. To restore Black River and the Black River Hospital, crews are working and executing with unique and innovative solutions to expand the network fed to get power into the town of Black River. Over the past week, over 150 additional line workers have been deployed with additional equipment to enhance our restoration efforts. We are also creating some new solutions whereby looking out, we'll be having a separate island in Magati to facilitate restoring power to that community and that town also. Now, I have some good news for the folks in Black River. And the good news that I have for you is this. Because of the strong partnerships, because of the innovation, and being mindful of the devastation and the need for power, we have come up with some creative solutions and streamline our work to have power restored to Black River Hospital, the town of Black River, the police station, and also to some major centers by tomorrow night. One of our priorities in our restoration is to restore major town centers and hospitals. And Black River is the one outstanding one given the level of devastation. So we have partnered and come up with creative solutions in order to facilitate that restoration. And I'm thankful for all who have been involved. And as we speak right now, the teams are out there working tirelessly to facilitate that restoration, knowing its significance. There is a reason why Jamaicans continue to connect with the music of our blessed Jimmy Cliff, and may his soul rest in peace. Particularly, I like the song Many Rivers to Cross. When he speaks of many rivers, he's not just talking about surrender. He's talking about persistence. He's talking about partnerships. He's talking about pressing on and continuing forward, even when the journey is demanding. And that is what we here at JPS are doing through strong partnerships with the Ministry of Energy, the communities, the OUR, and all other key stakeholders. This is where we are now. There are still rivers to cross. But the one thing we are doing through our strong partnerships is that we are finding our way across. Each solution, whether permanent infrastructure or temporary innovation, brings us closer to full restoration through stronger and stronger and stronger partnerships. Each step reflects what we have learned through adversity and through these partnerships. The direction is very clear. The work will be completed through stronger and stronger partnerships. So in closing, I want to share this with you. I am personally very grateful for the partnerships that we have forged. I'm a believer in strong partnerships. And at this moment in time, we only need stronger and stronger partnerships going forward. I look at Minister Vaz, I look at our regulator, I look at our community leaders, I look at our representatives here, I look at our police force, I look at the wider community. This is what it takes in times of adversity to deliver on the promise to the great people of this great nation of Jamaica. Stronger partnerships. As this year comes to a close, I know that some families will spend Christmas without electricity. I understand how hard that is. But hear me clearly. The work has intensified. JPS is working every hour of every day until power is restored to all communities in this great nation of Jamaica. Our crews are pushing in the hardest hit areas, rebuilding and redesigning what was destroyed and finding solutions, frankly, where none existed before. We are working in close collaboration with all stakeholders with a shared goal of rebuilding Jamaica. I would personally like to recognize and thank some of our key stakeholders throughout this effort. Minister Vaz, we have been on the phone multiple times, early morning, late night, talking and sharing the perspectives to facilitate restoration. Thank you for your unyielding support as we continue to build out this nation, what we're doing. Members of Parliament, I've spoken to many. Mayors, councillors, the OUR, our partner, while holding us accountable, has stood by our side to help unlock the opportunities. Answered, I thank you for that. The National Water Commission, National Work Agency, the Emergency Operating Centers, ODPEM, and our fellow utility providers, Flow, Digicel. Thank you for your support and partnership, and thank you also for the media for being here. Our commitment is firm. We will not stop until all customers are safely restored. So to the great people of St. Elizabeth, to the people of our great nation, Jamaica, be reassured that on the behalf of JPS, we have a team at JPS that is working tirelessly to deliver on our commitments to the great nation of Jamaica, because we get it. I want to wish the people of Treasure Beach, the people of St. Elizabeth, and all Jamaicans a peaceful Christmas and a renewed confidence and hope as we step into 2026. Now, it's not lost on us that other areas still do not have power. Those other areas, rest assured, we are coming at you. We are coming to you. We know that even though we are making progress in restoration here in St. Elizabeth, we have areas in Westmoreland that are still not restored. The good news is, just yesterday, over 100 line workers, additional resources came in to accelerate the restoration efforts in these areas. We have already restored communities in Negril, Sablamar, and others, and other town centers, and we will only continue to build that out and restore. We stand tall, we stand together, we stand committed to partner with all stakeholders to deliver the promise of energy, electricity to this great nation of Jamaica at this devastating yet historic time, to stronger partnerships, stronger engagements as we deliver. Thank you for your patience, thank you for listening, and thank you very much for your partnerships.
Thank you so very much, Hugh. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from the CEO himself. 88% of JPS customers now have electricity 57 days after a devastating Category 5 event. And you also heard it. Black River will have electricity by Christmas night. Now that is great. Thank you. Now, it's Shakespeare who says, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, and that's Hugh. But Hugh is supported by a great team, and I'd like to acknowledge a few members of the team. We have Blaine Jarrett, Senior VP of Energy Delivery, Ricardo Kay, Senior VP of Support Services, Samir Sims, VP Generation, and his team members, Andre Modest and Philip Whittingham. Please celebrate them. We also acknowledge the support of Rashid Anderson, who is Director of Operations Field Services, and we acknowledge Shamika Holness, our Key Account Manager. It is a team, it is a whole enterprise effort, and we are here, every single one of us, to serve Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, now for the man of the moment. He needs a little introduction. We've been talking about him for the past hour or so, because he's the man who does not take no for an answer. Please help me welcome our Minister of Energy, the Honorable Daryl Vaz.
Thank you very much, Brinsom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just start by saying this is indeed the best Christmas Eve that we could spend, knowing that we are here to help the people of Jamaica after this devastating hurricane. When I compare Beryl to Melissa and see that I could be here today in the presence of the JPS CEO and the OUR, you know that things have gotten much better over the last year, because we didn't walk on the same side of the road, much less to sit beside one another. But I want to pause and recognize the president of the JPS and his entire team. He came in the midst of Beryl, and I remember my first conversation with him. I says, this is either going to make you or break you. If you follow me, it will make you. If you don't follow me, it will break you. Well, he took my advice and did the right thing. Now he sounds like a budding politician that is about to have a new career after his success at JPS. But on a serious note, I think Hugh Grant and I have spoken more in the last 57 days than I have spoken to my wife and my children, because it starts from as early as 3 o'clock in the morning, depending on what's happening, and it goes as late as midnight, depending on what's happening. But as he said, 8 weeks after this catastrophic event, we can compare our response to any first world country, as he did earlier. So I don't need to repeat. But the truth is, to get to where we are today, coming on the heels of a Category 5 hurricane, is absolutely miraculous. That is what it is, because it has shown a level of dedication, a level of coordination and collaboration. And I don't want people to think it's all about JPS and me as minister and my government. You're talking about a collaboration in terms of a response that involves the JDF, the police, JSIF, the National Works Agency, Ministry of Labour and Social Security, the Ministry of Local Government, and so many other ministries of government. But let me indicate that no government, not even this government, can manage a disaster without the people support. And the people are not just the people who are resident in and around the area and the unaffected area. It is the civil society, it's the churches, it's the NGOs, it's the international and local charities. And I pause here to acknowledge Breads and Jason because they are already blazing the trail to show Jamaica what community development can be if you do it in a coordinated effort. So the fact of the matter is we have seen a response that has involved every single Jamaican from every walk of life, both locally and overseas, along with our tourists and our musicians and everything else. But what strikes me most is that every single person has done something, no matter how big, no matter how small. I have people that leave Portland who can barely buy gas, that ask me for gas money. And I ask them where they're going. So they're going to St. Elizabeth. I said, who are you going to in St. Elizabeth? They don't know. They just know they're going there. So that is what we call old-time Jamaica. Old-time Jamaica is alive and well. So let us get to the bottom line. The bottom line is that the government of Jamaica has gotten the support of the multilaterals, and all of the world has paid attention to our catastrophe and have helped in some way. But with all that help, if the JPS didn't get the resources, they can only do so much and no more. And the government had a decision to make. And that was, what do we do? Do we extend a license and allow them to raise the capital? Or do we lend them the money and keep the license separate? Well, I stand here today to say that the $150 million that the government has loaned to the Jamaica Public Service, which happened in record time. I've never seen anything in government take 3 weeks. And that loan was negotiated and signed within 3 weeks. As a matter of fact, under 3 weeks, with the help of JPS, the Ministry of Finance, and I pay a special commendation to Minister Favour Williams and the Financial Secretary and my permanent secretary. And to say that if the results that we are seeing now, where we are now at 88%, I just got an update. I don't know if I get them before you, but it's a 90%. So I don't know if I'm ahead of you, but that's your report, 90%. So I'll stick with the 88 to 90 to stay out of trouble. Let me just make it clear to all who are here, all who have eyes to see and ears to hear. If I had to do it again, I would lend you the $150 million every day and twice on Sunday because the people want light. We are seeing the results of the light. We have 300 linesmen here across the western parishes, and unfortunately the barge is delayed. We were hoping to get it here today, tomorrow, and it won't arrive here until probably the 27th, and the other one probably end up. So if 300 linesmen can do what they are doing without additional equipment, and the equipment includes bucket trucks, pickups, anything that you see the JPS have in Jamaica, is over 250 pieces of equipment that are landing here within the next few days, that these 300 linesmen will be able to utilize, along with the 170 that were here prior, plus all of the JPS contractors. We will deliver the restoration of the majority of customers, 90,000 and 100,000 now, as you said, with a customer base of 700,000. Bearing in mind what he said, the last mile is the most difficult mile, and that's why it needs the equipment and that's why it needs the additional linesmen, because you are going into uncharted waters. You're going into areas that you really don't even know what you're going to find. But we have made, as a responsible, compassionate government, the right decision. And that is to bring back light sooner than later. Because the fact is, without electricity, there can be no return to normalcy. The government cannot earn, the people cannot earn, and the economy will continue to stagnate. So, some people say that I'm arrogant. Some people say I'm feisty. Some people say I'm impatient. I am none of those. I'm passionate. I live by the motto, and that's why I'm successful in politics. Serve the people and they will serve you. Work for the people and they will work for you. Love the people and they will love you. Respect the people and they will defend you. Respect you. And defend the people and they will defend you. And what we have done is all of those on the heels of Melissa. Extreme times require extreme actions. And what we need to understand, or some people need to understand, is that we can't continue to operate in normal times and expect to get the results that we need to get. And therefore, I prefer to act now, do what needs to be done now, and we can debate as many times as you want next year after everybody get back light. You can spend 3 days in Parliament and debate the $150 billion loan and all the way you want. My job as minister and my job as a member of the Andronis-led administration is to deliver to the people. And that is what. It is no secret that we always say the good Lord knows best. And you must just listen and you will hear. So anybody who believes that it's a coincidence that this administration has taken Jamaica through COVID, Beryl, and Melissa on the heels of a hotly contested general election. God knew best. And that is why the Andrew Holness administration will continue to take us through this and for us to build back stronger. There are some tough decisions that have to be made because we have to build back resilient. There's no two ways about it. And therefore, some people may not be happy at decisions that the government take in their best interest. But we cannot afford to lose this opportunity because out of adversity comes opportunity if you use it. And what we have with what we have gotten in terms of aid and funding, unprecedented, is an opportunity for us to rebuild bigger, better, and of course, stronger for all. This is not about us. This is about building back Jamaica for future generations. Some of us here, we won't be around in those days. But the fact of the matter is that we have a responsibility as a government to utilize the resources to the best benefit of the parishes that were hit, and of course, to prepare for climate change, which is alive and well. So I have two little things to tell you outside of Melissa that I could not do without my friend and colleague Parish. We have diverted 372 million Jamaican dollars out of our National Energy Poverty Reduction Project, which was launched last year. As a result of the passage of Hurricane Melissa through St. Elizabeth, and it will extend to other parishes, we will be doing minor repairs of homes to ensure households can be certified for electricity house wiring where required. We are going to do 800 houses. We're going to do in house wiring support for 600 households. We're going to do full GER certification services for 1,400 households. And we're going to do provision of selected social services in 1,400 identified through the electrification fairs. The breakdown of this is $300,000 for minor building repairs to facilitate certification of electrification. That's 240 million Jamaican dollars. House wiring, 600 at $150,000. That's 90 million. And the GR certification, which is 30,000, will come up to $42,000. So it doesn't make sense you repair your house and put on your roof, and the water has done damage to your wiring in your house. You won't have any benefit. Because you turn on the light and you might have a fire, which might be worse than Melissa. So the government is acting responsible and diverting these funds out of the existing program to the affected parishes so that they can be safe when they resume normalcy after doing their repairs or replacement of their house. The last thing I want to say is that under the oil exploration, which there is a company that is currently doing the exploration research, United Oil and Gas. There was a provision in there for $2 million that is in escrow, which is to be used while you are doing the exploration to help fisheries and the beaches and all that goes with it. The money has been sitting down there for many years because we haven't found the oil yet, but hopefully we'll soon find it. And I went to Minister Green and I said, I have this $2 million. Let it not sit down there in escrow, earning little interest when we have the fishers that have been so badly damaged. He has provided with me a program for fishing beaches, for engines, for boats, for vouchers, all sorts of things. And we will be going to finalize that process in January so that I can hand over that $2 million, that's 320 million Jamaican dollars, that will be specifically dedicated to the fishers that have been damaged during Melissa. Parity, Black River, Galleon, Treasure Beach, to mention those in St. Elizabeth, White House and others in Westmoreland. And the program has been presented to me, and it is just for me to finalize the paperwork. And that will be done in collaboration between my ministry and Minister Green's ministry. So again, we are finding innovative ways to look at all the areas that need help to try and get people back on their feet, because people need to get back on their feet so they can earn their way out of Melissa. It is one thing for government to give you some grants here and this, that, the other. That's only going to take you so far. You need to be in a position to provide for your family and to build back your businesses, etc. So there's a wide cross-section of that. I don't need to go into that. The Prime Minister and others have done so. So let me close by saying again to you and the entire team, I give credit when credit is due. And the fact of the matter is that JPS has done an outstanding job, and I will stand up and defend you anywhere, any place, anytime, because I see and I feel and I absolutely realize that people are getting back normalcy every time you turn on a light. So I won't wish you a Merry Christmas, because there's nothing to be merry about. What I would say is that this is not a short road. This is not January 26. This is not middle of January 26, 27. This is 3 to 5 years. of solid plans that the government is going to have to implement to at least bring us back to near where we were before Melissa. So I say, instead of Merry Christmas, let us have a prayerful and grateful Christmas, because we are alive. And once you have life, you have everything. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, Minister Darrell Vaz, Minister of Energy. Now, there's one thing that the minister said that I'd like to underscore, and that is the support that the government is providing for persons to have their homes wired, checked, and certified. Now, this is important because there are many people who are not able to receive the electricity even though it's right outside their doors, because their homes have been so badly damaged that they need rewiring. So for those of you who need it, I encourage you to make use of this facility that's being provided by the government. I want to thank you all for joining us for this moment of recognition. Recognition of the work that has been done. Recognition of the journey to recovery. And recognition of the fact that there's still a long way to go. We have come a long way. 88% of JPS's customers have electricity today. We know that there's some without, but I tell you, JPS team members and our going to be working straight through into tomorrow, into Boxing Day. We are not stopping. So every single day, in every single parish, right across Jamaica, we are adding customers. So you never know. If you're watching this, you might just get light tonight. As I close, I want to wish you all a safe and peaceful Christmas. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Winsome Callum.